Hey, Linda. Good morning, good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Good morning, Amy. Fun to, it's fun to see you Sunday. So glad you're well. You guys look like you're doing great. So, good morning, everybody. Hello, hello. How are you on this day? Good morning, Fannie Faye Davis. Hello, hello. How is everybody? So good to see everyone. Good morning. Got sailboats this morning. Very nice. Always a favorite. Hey, good morning, Donna. Good to hear. Good to hear. Very nice. Glad you're well. Glad you're doing all right. It's hey. So nice to see everybody coming in. Glad you are with us. Just homeschooling. I hear ya. Hey, Robin. Robin Carden, everybody. Good morning, Bonnie. Great to see you here. Glad you're with us. This is so I was thinking about today. I was thinking about you, Robin, because you. This is today is right in your wheelhouse. So I'm. Good morning, Priscilla. How are you? I hope. I hope. Oh, hi. Oh is great. I think that's how you do that, isn't it? Hi. I don't know. There's a way to do that. I don't know it. Robin knows it. I bet that. But good morning, everybody. So glad you're here. Hi. How is it going? As I think we're kind of fully stepping into a new season right now. Like yes, last week was kind of the transition, but I feel like it's coming. Like here we are. Now we're in it, and so we've got these questions about what are we gonna do with this new season that we've been given. So it's a good time. Good morning. Good morning. So it is the 29th day of September 2020. The 29th day of September 2020. And it is 11:11. I am so glad that each one of you are with us, that we are on this journey together, that we are hanging out, that we have community with each other, that we have a way of being together. Yes, I'm itching for an adventure. Right? Right? Like, isn't that in there? Like that the little crisp air, that all this, and that's part of what I want to talk about this morning, because I feel like this season is bringing us a little bit to that. Good morning, Irene. So glad you're here. Good morning, John Wells. John, good to see you. I feel like this season is bringing us, and I know we've talked about the fact that it's shifting or has shifted, but we're in it now, and so that there's something to bring to it. So I want to start with this. This is from John 8. This is the 8th chapter of the Gospel of John. And Jesus is getting pinged by all of the Pharisees. Like he's in this little verbal gunfight with the Pharisees right now. And it's always, with Jesus and the Pharisees, it's always kind of like they bring a knife and he brings a gun kind of thing, like that ends up happening. And this is kind of another one of those cases of that. So they come to him, and he says again, Jesus spoke to them saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. So the Pharisees said to him, you are bearing witness about yourself. Your testimony is not true. And Jesus answered them, even if I do bear witness about myself, my testimony is true, for I know where I came from, and I know where I'm going. But you don't know where I come from, and you don't know where I'm going. Hey, Jamie, good morning. Welcome, welcome. I love this phrase, not only because it says, I am the light of the world, that it's the way of framing kind of how Jesus is in this world, is illuminating all good things. But he says this little phrase, he says, whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, because I know where I'm going and you don't know where I'm going. But they will have the light of life. Now, what does that look like? Now, on Sunday, I quoted this as a part of the message on Sunday, but I want to revisit it because and Sunday we talked about pilgrimage and we talked about this sort of thing, but I want to talk about a particular aspect of this because this is about walking things out, and I think this fall that we're finding ourselves in is going to be about what we're walking out in this world. We've been kind of hunkered down. So our spring and summer, our late spring and through this entire summer has in many ways been about what we've endured. It's been about this time of moving through, of just being in it and kind of dealing with what comes each day, whether it's a new headline or a new lockdown or a new something. Right now, we have this moment where we're in this place where this is where we are. We are in a season where we're going to begin to walk it out. Well, I think there's this shift, and everything brings it, doesn't it? Like the cool air, like the pumpkin patch, like Robin grew pumpkins this year, so she had a pumpkin patch going, and that all of these pieces and parts are about how we're going to move through this. And when Jesus says this, he says, I am the light of the world, whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, is this promise of illumination on the trail ahead. Now, the quote I brought on Sunday that I want to bring back here because it's so good, I just can't let it go, and I want us to, because I think it's actually going to be like a hard and fast tool for you and I to negotiate these times. Like that this is an actual practical thing that we can do in this because I think it has spiritual connotations along with our with physical connotations. That I think that actually acting something out in the world is going to help us act something out inside. So stay with me on this. But this is a quote from Soren Kierkegaard. I love Kierkegaard. I think he's one of the great the great theologians of Christendom. But this is not a theological statement that he makes. He makes a practical statement. But I think that the practicality of this is leading us into what we'll discover as this deep spiritual tool that we can use. And he says this. He says, above all, do not lose your desire to walk. Every day I walk myself into a state of well-being and walk away from every illness. I have walked myself into my best thoughts, and I know of no thought so burdensome that I cannot walk away from it. But by sitting still, and the more one sits still, the closer one comes to feeling ill. Thus, if one just keeps on walking, everything will be all right. What Jesus is encountering in the Pharisees is the stuckness of the of the law, the stuckness of the world. And he says, I know where I'm going. You don't know where I'm going. I know where I'm bringing light next. You don't know where I'm bringing light next. I know where things are going, and that everything he's pointing to is about us walking this thing out, of continuing to walk. And I think this is deep, deep, deep within us, that we're going to have to walk out some things in these days. We're going to have to walk out not only our physical body and wellness, but I think that can be a sign of walking out these larger truths, the things that we really believe in. The walking out of our connection to our church family, to our connection to our family at home, walking out our what and how we're going to be in this world, walking out the different pieces and parts of our faith that are being constricted and confined and crushed. St. Paul talks about the way that he feels he is being crushed on all sides. If you haven't had that experience yet, I don't know, but my suspicion is it's coming, and it's not just that. And it's we've been through a whole season together, friends, and in that season we've endured the crushing. But I think this is a new season. This is a time of walking. This is a time of continuing to walk it out. That we must continue to alternate feet. Now, this whole thing about alternating feet. Because I think it's incredible that such a theologian as Kierkegaard would offer us an idea that what we should do is that of a simple and practical thing that we do is that we walk ourselves into. Because there's another great mystic, and I'm going to bring both of these guys up because I think and then I'm going to take bring a third guy in to say how I think we reconcile this, because this is where I think we are. So. Stay with me. Meister Eckhart, who's a medieval mystic, incredible guy, he wrote this. He says, God is at home. It is we who have gone out for a walk. I love that. God is at home. It is we that have gone out for a walk. That often if we don't find God's presence with us, if we find ourselves lacking, it's not that we're not at home. It's that God is already at home. It's that we that have wandered. It's we that have moved. We that have not found ourselves to walk in the way of the light. And that's not a bad. And that is And now hear me. Don't hear what I'm not saying. Doesn't make us bad people. Doesn't make us bad Christians. Doesn't make it mean somebody's gonna punish us. It's all a part of our growing into. Because look at what Jesus is talking about in this text in John 8. He's talking about you don't know where I'm going, but I know where I'm going, and I know where I am going to shine light. And I'm inviting you into more light. I'm inviting you into have the light of life that is going to come as we walk this thing out. And that doesn't mean we get to stay where we are. It's not about it's not only just being on the pilgrimage like we talked about Sunday, but it's about this deeper calling forward. And I want to invite you in these days to start walking, friends. I know we all have different levels. This is not about straying from the path. Don't think about this as straying from the path. Like if you think what I'm saying is about how righteous you are, that's not what it is. And yes, Jamie, we know you've been labeled as likely to stray from the path. But that's not it. That's not it. Just kidding, honey. I love you. Mean it. We have this journey in which we're being called into deeper and new truths. And I think that's what's coming out of this time, friends. I think it's what's coming out of this time is that all kinds of stuff we used to use to fluff up our life and fluff up all the things that were around us are being stripped away. And we're coming into new places. Now, the third person I want to bring into this conversation, fourth person, fifth, I don't know, who's counting? The next guy is the guy, Thomas Merton. And if you don't know Merton, Merton is terrific. But Merton says this, and I think this is how we reconcile these two friends that we have going on right now. These two friends in Eckhart and in Kierkegaard. Kierkegaard says, I walk it out. Eckhart says, if we're walking, we might well have walked away from God. But we're walking into more light. So here are these words from Merton, which I think just bring it all home. When the right time comes for us to go on to other things, God withdraws his sense of his presence in order to strengthen our faith. After that, it is useless to seek him through the medium of any psychological effect. Useless to look for him in any sense in our hearts. To look for him any sense of... The time has come when we must go out of ourselves and above ourselves and find him no longer within us, but outside us and above us. This we do first by arid faith, by a hope that burns like hot coals under the ashes of our poverty. We seek him also by humble charity in service to our brothers. Then, when God wills, he raises up to himself in simplicity. Oh, so good. Now, what does that all mean? What is that all saying? It's saying we're friends. We're in this place where we need to walk it out, and not because we are going to leave the home of God, but because everything in this world is moving and shifting, and where and when, and our old truths are not going to work for us as well anymore. Our old faith is not going to work for us as well anymore. And that doesn't mean it's wrong. That doesn't mean we're wrong. It means this season we're being called into, this new time, this new adventure that we're on. And Amy, I think you're right. I think it is an adventure. I think there are great promises of the life of light that we're being born into in this hour, that we have no idea how good this is going to be. It's going to be for you and for me. Does it mean there might be some hardness? Absolutely. But the time has come for us to just kind of hold what we've got. But the time has come for us to begin to move into it, to walk. So my invitation to you in these days is just walk, friends. Just start walking. I really mean it. If you don't have a discipline of walking in your life right now, go put it in. And I don't care what it takes. We all have different physical levels. If you can get to the mailbox and back, do that. But I believe in this outward physical way that might seem dumb and stupid and just kind of pointless, we can step into that place of Kierkegaard. Where he says that we can begin to walk away from the things that just don't feed us anymore. We can begin to walk away from, as like Merton says, we can begin to walk away from that uselessness of trying to figure it all out in our head, the medium of psychological effect. Oh, isn't Merton language just great? That all of these ways that we can kind of try and kind of gnaw on our own skulls. Hey, Luke White. Luke White's here, everybody. I actually got this quote from him this morning. I am so grateful to him. It made everything come together that had been percolating inside. All right. We are friends in this place where we are ready to walk into new light. We're walking into new light. Right here and right now, right in this season, right on the 29th day of September. So I want you to get walking. Start moving your feet. Alternate left and right. We're alternating feet. The act of alternating feet is actually the act of our regeneration. Left, the left, the symbolism of our emotional life. The right, the symbol of our intellect and our wisdom. We feel into it, and we discover the truth of it. We discover the truth of it, and we feel into it. With that, this is how we move spiritually. It's a deep, deep practice, friends. There's a lot in it. So I want you to get out there and get your feet moving. Start alternating feet and see what happens. See what you can walk away from, that you might find yourselves walking into the God that is at home, that is seeking to make a home with you, that knows where we're all going and is shining the light there. Because I think that if we're trying to stay into our old truths in these days, it's going to be a place of waning light, that there is a new light shining. And I'm hoping you'll walk into it with us. And you'll walk into it in brave and bold new ways, because there is goodness in it. There is grace in it. There is abundance in it that we have yet, as a people, had the chance to experience yet in this time. All right, friends, that's my hope. That's for you these days. That's what I'm looking for you. I'll try and throw these quotes in the chat, so maybe if you want to spend some time with them. Super grateful so great to see Kate Roberts is here, everybody. Woo! Oh, we got some Texas. Is Mandy here? I didn't see her pop in, but hey, there she is. Oh, friends, this is a good gathering. Oh, the gathering of saints. Oh, so good. Linda, I'm headed out for a walk now. 3 claps for Linda, everybody. That's awesome. Amy has been on the track. That's great. Priscilla, lots of places to walk here. Keep walking it out, friends. I truly believe that this outward manifestation will give us a little bit of something of our inward grace if we'll just kind of walk it out, and that we can walk ourselves, as Kierkegaard says, into our very best thoughts. All right, friends, this is our time that we'll be back here tomorrow at 11:11. I hope you will be a part of this journey. If you've got some friends out there that think they want to be a part of the 11:11 community and be a part of this, invite them along. It is such an encouragement to me to see your names, to see your little digital faces up there, and I hope it is an encouragement to you to see all of these fellow pilgrims that are on the path with you, that will encourage you and hold you up and shine light for you in these days. All right, friends, so glad you're here, so glad you're here, and let's walk it out. Let's walk out this time together. Peace and grace, all.